Welcome back, I'm Moksha, and today in this video we're going to work more on this elephant painting that I started in the previous video. And so in this video I'm going to focus on adding color to this elephant. Also, the proportions are, as you can see, are pretty off. He's got a huge head and big ears and tiny legs, and maybe I don't even care that it looks like a real elephant. I really, honestly, to be perfectly honest, I don't care. And I want to just have fun with this painting, maybe mess it up, make it a little more crazy. There's some more story in this painting that needs to be told. So the background is pretty plain right now, and I think I can add some cool stuff happening in the background. I really don't know. Like I said previously in the other video, I don't have a plan. I'm just making this stuff up. This is for fun. This is for you. And I've done this before, so I know how it goes. Not every painting turns out. Maybe this one doesn't. Maybe it does. It doesn't actually matter. What does turn out even mean? We get stuck in these things, these expectations we have of ourselves. And by the way, that brings up a good point. I want to make it clear that we don't want to get too hung up on how our painting looks in the end, to be honest. I mean, of course it matters. We're trying to make a good painting, but if we get stuck there, if we have anxiety about our work and we have a fear of making mistakes and progressing, then we just stop, and it's not fun anymore, and we turn the thing towards the wall and never look at it again. And in a worst case scenario, maybe we stop painting or something because we think we're not good or some nonsense like that. And so let's just forget, in this video, I'll just forget all about that. I'm glad you tuned in. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Let's see where this goes. I've taken off my coat. I'm going to stay a while. Let's pull up our sleeves. By we, I mean me. I'm pulling up my sleeves. If you got sleeves, pull them up. Let's get serious. And I think it'd be helpful to start here today if I show you a little bit what's going on here beside me at my painting table, my brushes and paints and things. Maybe I'll just kind of show you what I'm using. I can make a separate video later that dives into brushes and paint types and all that kind of nerdy stuff. But for now, I'll just show you what I'm using if you're curious. When I started painting in acrylics years ago, I was using these heavy body, well, that's an open acrylic, pay no attention to that. But anyway, these tube paints, the heavy stuff, and that's good for some things, some applications, but I don't like how thick it is, and I'm always trying to get the right consistency by mixing water, and that can be really slow me down. And so I started using these golden fluid acrylics, which I love, and the reason these are so great is they're still full pigment strength, and that means that they're not diluted. The color is not at all diluted, but they're at a consistency that's ready to paint with. And a large selection of brushes. I can do a separate tutorial on brushes, but you see I've got all the things, the filberts and the flats and the angled shaders, and I've got an iPad for my photo reference, the water jar right next to the tea. This is a really bad idea, just for the record. Any artist will tell you that you should never do this, but I am, because I'm a professional. Yeah, that's right. I never drink my paint water. Here's my funky little palette at the moment. I've just moved and I don't have my a lot of my normal studio materials with me, so I'm using the lid for a to-go order from someplace, Thai food, I think. So as I said, I think the first step I'll do here is add some color. And I think what I'll do first is take some of this sap green and do a very, very light glaze over the entire lower half. And then so this portion down here, including the elephant, will have a very light greenish tint, and then I'll reserve the sky and the mountains in the distance for kind of a very light blue tint, and then I'll work from there. So this is what I'm talking about. It's called sap green golden fluid medium. So I'll use a little bit of that. I don't need a lot, a couple drops. And to that I'm going to add, as I mentioned before, this satin glazing medium also from Golden. And this dilutes the paint, but it's not like water. It's still kind of a little bit heavier. It slows the drying time slightly. So I'm going to dip my wide flat brush into the water, not into the tea. I'll zoom in here so you can watch me paint and not just look at the back of my head. Next, I'll glaze some color very lightly into the sky. I want kind of a soft overcast sky, so I'm not going to go hard with the blue. So in this case, I'm using primary cyan, but just about any blue will do. With my burnt sienna, I'm mixing just a little bit of the sap green that I have on the palette, and that kind of mutes the redness of the burnt sienna and dulls it a little bit, which I like. As you can see, I've made some progress from the beginning of the video, and I think I'll take a little break and then jump back into it, and we'll see where it goes next. Okay, break time's over. I'm back. I've had my nappy poo and my snack and my tea, and it's time to get to work. There's a lot yet to do with this elephant, and I'm just going to turn the camera on time lapse, and you can follow along for as long as you would like. I'll be back to explain more later. Well, that about wraps up another session on this painting. I could definitely take this painting a whole lot further. But for the sake of this demo, I think that I've done what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you what it's like to make a painting on ochre-colored gesso, or any colored gesso, perhaps. And I feel like I've done that. And so I hope that you got something out of this video. Maybe you have followed along at home and created your own painting. Do feel free to share that. You could also comment below. You could like the video and follow and the things like that. Those all help. And so I appreciate your support. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. How am I looking? Do I look good? Am I shaved? This camera can see everything.